My name is Ian and welcome to Planted. In this video I'm going to start putting my garden to bed. I like to grow a few choice plants, a few things that are a little bit out of zone, and that is they shouldn't grow here. If I left them outside for the winter they would all die. Now you can't do this on a Saturday afternoon from start to finish. So what I do is I come through now in late September and do a substantial prune. I cut things back, I take all of the garden waste off to the dump, the tip, and get rid of it, and start to gradually dig up plants, prune them back and pot them on. So the reason for this is that in late September we have reduced day length, which gives less energy, we have less intensity in that day length, and we also have colder nights. So those three things prompt the plant to start to go into dormancy. Now, I could literally cut back everything really hard, dig it all up right now, and move it into the greenhouse. But I don't want to do that. It's too much of a shock. I want plants to gradually slow down before I lift them, and that reduces the shock. Let me show you more. Let me show you what I do. Now, there really is a process and a structure and a plan. I like to grow plants myself. I like to take cuttings, I like to do division. And it's very easy at this stage right now to go out there and start trying to decide what it is that you want to save and what you might give away and where you'll start to make your cuttings and divisions. But all of that is premature. The first thing you have to do is get into your garden and start making space. Start to prune back all that remarkable summer growth that you've enjoyed over the last few months, so you can actively get into your garden. Even after all these years of growing plants, I'm still amazed at the volume of plant growth that I get on my plants. And that is why my channel is called Planted. It's about right plant, right place, and get out of its way, let it grow, let it do its thing. So before I can start to do anything with my plants in terms of lifting and dividing, I've got to uncover what I have. And that process is sad, it's also very rewarding, because it's at this time of year you start to look at plant health. The huge big foliage plant you see here above my head is called Colocasia. I've got a purple, I've got a green. Now clearly I've got too many. I can't grow them all. So rather than trying to save them all, I'm going to save one clump of purple and one clump of the green, and I will give the rest away. And these are the decisions that you can make while you are pruning back and uncovering your garden. Don't be tempted to try and save everything, because that is an exercise that will drive you crazy. If I were to dig up all of the green and all of the purple, I'd probably have 7 or 8 plants of the purple and maybe 10 of the green. I just don't need to do that. I would be spinning my wheels and wasting my time trying to get those plants to come through the winter in my greenhouse or even in my basement. So have some discipline, and this cutback is all about making space and seeing what you've got and clarifying your needs for the future, for next year. I am going to put in 1 purple next year, and I am going to put in 1 green, and hopefully that will mean that some of the plants that are under this canopy won't get quite so crowded out. Now this is the seedling datura that grows every year. I keep one and I push it through the fence, and it did not disappoint this year. The downside is that now that the sun is dropping, this plant is in the majority of shade for the majority of the day, and it stopped the flower production. So rather than waiting and hoping it flowers, I know it won't, because the sunlight is not as intense as it should be. But you'll see that it's broken my fence. I've got a large chunk of fence there that's come adrift from the post because of the pressure of that plant and its very, very vigorous growth. So let's go into the garden and have a look. This is Alstroemeria, started flowering in late May and has been blasting out flowers on and off ever since. I've talked about the beautiful purple Colocasia. There's a Tibucina in the back. This is a Melianthus major, which was a new introduction this year, which I just love. And this is Euphorbia. Euphorbias come in all shapes and sizes, and I've kept this alive for many winters now, and it just comes back and does wonderful, most beautiful feathery foliage. And I wish that I could share with you the fragrance of this ginger. Next up is the remarkable and spectacular Edgeworthia. Now this got a heavy prune last July with the idea that it would put out new buds that would overwinter for this spring. It didn't work out as I had hoped, but this year I'm rewarded with a substantial crop of buds, and I can't wait to show you this next spring. Bye for now.